Who remembers Superleague Formula? Because I don't. Superleague Formula was an open-wheeled racing series that ran from 2008 to 2011 with the slogan, "The beautiful race, football at 300 kilometers an hour." That's because every single car was entered and backed by a football team. The cars themselves were run by proper race teams. Sadly, Rafa Benitez was not on the pit wall for Liverpool, telling David and Go to watch his tyre temps. Other footballers considered for that joke were Dirk Kuyt, Alberto Aquilani and Steve Finnan. In terms of drivers, there were a few recognisable names from the world of Formula 1, IndyCar and sports cars, but after 3 seasons where the championship seemed to grow in size, in 2011 most of the football teams pulled out, only 4 races were held and the series folded. The reason for this sudden decline may be down to the series' title sponsor, the Sonnengold Group, pulling out at the end of 2010 because they had some stuff to deal with. Honestly, I could do a whole video on just the series alone because I find it so interesting. No, today I'm more interested in the fact that this series got an officially licensed video game. Based on the second season, 2009, the game featured all 6 tracks and 18 liveries of the clubs that entered. And let's just get this straight right off the bat, this isn't some half-assed tie-in by any old developer. This is a half-assed tie-in by actually quite a decent developer. The game was developed and published by Image Space Incorporated, the developers behind the rfactor games and the legendary F1 Challenge, using the same engine that powered those games. And that, on paper, sounds great, but as you will see, there is a little bit of Control-C, Control-V at play. So, just for today, my name's Ash, and this is the offside line. Which doesn't fully work, because there's no offsides in this. So here we are in Superleague Formula the game, which was originally released on the 31st of October 2009. So let's do a single player race, and the first thing you will notice is, oh no, it looks like I don't own any cars. I also don't have any money. Oh, there's a button here that says buy cars. Cool. Yeah, this is the first instance of the whole copy-pasta from rfactor that you can see. In the original rfactor, there was a almost Gran Turismo style career mode where you would buy a car, do races, earn money, then buy upgrades and better cars as you progress. And it seems like they've just kept that here, except for the fact that there are no credits in career mode. If you want to race in a car, you just have to click on it and buy it. That was obviously too much trouble to just strip out, so they've left it in. And the thing is, it's the same with upgrades as well. Would you like to buy Pro Physics? Okay. Would you like to buy the setup? Donington Park. I'd love to buy that setup. Done. Now, around the time of this game, I'm pretty sure rfactor 1 had been out for a good few years, and they were already starting to work on rfactor 2. So maybe they were just like given the money to do this project, but they just wanted to spend as little time on it as possible. So it's a case of, right, we'll brand it, we'll get the cars in, blah blah blah. Otherwise, they just thought, oh, we'll leave that shit in. We'll leave buying and selling setups and physics types in. But I am going to stick with Tottenham Hotspur, because obviously if I'm going racing, there's no danger of me winning. As you've probably gathered, I am going to do Donington Park. So let's head out on track, and the first thing that anyone who's played rfactor 1 will notice is the heads-up display is just rfactor 1. As little time spent as possible, please. Although I have gone back and played rfactor 1 because I was curious to see how much they'd maybe just ported their F1 spec cars from rfactor 1 over to this game. Was it just literally the same model, the same physics? And actually, fair play to them, they have modelled the cars of the series, and the handling differs from those Formula 1 spec cars in rfactor 1. Speaking of the cars that were used in the series, it was a spec series. The cars were built by Paynos, under the name Elan Motorsport Technologies, and they were essentially, I believe, the champ cars of the day. I don't know if there were any maybe slight minor technical differences, and they were 750 brake horsepower V12s, which at the time F1 was moving away from these sorts of engines. So if a racing series was about to crop up, open wheel V12s, it's not a bad idea. It would turn some heads. Now the cars also have push to pass, which I have mapped, but I'm not going to lie, I don't know if I actually feel a difference and can't see anywhere where there is like a meter for it. Like how much push to pass do I have? I don't know. See if I can actually work that out. I mean, I have to say, I think the game looks really good. I think it sounds good. I think the handling's really good. I mean, of course it is. It is the G-motor engine. By the way, there isn't an rfactor logo you see in the top left corner. Pay no attention. It's not, honestly. You're seeing things. Oof. Ouch! I mean, I know they didn't want to spend lots of time on it, but could they not just remove the rfactor logo from the replay screen? Really just churn this out on a lunch break, didn't they? On that note, again, the controller mapping list is wonderful because they've just not checked anything else. So they've still got button mappings for a horn and headlights and a handbrake. You couldn't spend like 5 minutes just thinking, we don't need them to think about mapping headlights on these open wheel cars. Go on, Basel, you go through, I'm still struggling. Oof! What happened there? So I was busy thinking about the next point I wanted to say in my script. Missed my breaking point. Oh, and he just lost it. Oof! Anderlecht, Basel and Tottenham coming together. God, it's like the Europa League up in here. I was doing so badly I had to actually double check I'd installed the Donington setup, and I had. I'm determined to suck at least 10% less. You know, a little note on the physics, there were two, as you saw, easy and pro, and I started the game not really looking at it and started playing on easy physics. Actually really well done, the easy physics in this game, and it feels like it's not mollycoddling you too much, but it does also make you feel like a bit of a driving god. Then you turn on pro physics and it's exactly the sort of thing you would expect from an ISI game if you've played rfactor. But yeah, I don't need to say much else about the physics. They're good. It's ISI. They're you know. Although that physics head move forward when you brake is really f***ing annoying. And I don't remember... Have I changed the setting? Because I don't remember that being there before. That's actually slightly irritating. Oh, I think this camera angle's actually pissing me off. Can I... Oh, well, hang on a minute. Okay, that feels better. Yeah, I should have been doing this a long time ago. Although, Jesus Christ. Maybe I need to look at my graphics settings. How low a detail is the freaking car in? Let's go full, yeah. Turn that to full. That doesn't look very... Is that full? Did Tottenham literally provide like the smallest fucking JPEGs or PNGs they could? What is... Come on. Alright, full detail. Oh, Jesus Christ. Atletico Madrid there trying to kill me. God, of course they are. Going into the pits. Right, let's try and improve in qualifying. Sod it. You'll notice that in the playlist, obviously, there's my name for us and Tottenham, but everyone else, driver names not included. It's just the player and the team. That car is Liverpool, it is Roma, it is Basel. And that's how they refer to in the broadcast as well. And so if you go to an onboard, he would say, oh, here's the onboard from Rangers' perspective. Okay, so we are in Group 1 for qualifying. Oh yeah, qualifying. The qualifying format is a mirror of like the World Cup or the Champions League, where you would have a group stage followed by a knockout stage. So the field is split into two, and then the top 4 fastest cars from each of those groups would advance to the quarterfinals. Then it would be one-on-one short sessions to see who would set the fastest time between the two tip cars in quarterfinal 1, quarterfinal 2, so on. Then you have semi-finals, final, and that would then set your grid. And obviously very novel for the time. But what's even more interesting is it's actually ended up being quite trailblazing because it's what Formula E does now with the duels. So they were kind of onto something with this. Okay, Galatasaray are in the other group. The only reason I care about Galatasaray is in this race they were being driven by Scott Mansell, who you may know on YouTube as Driver 61. So I kind of want to just for minor YouTube cred try and out-qualify Scott Mansell. And then I get all his subscribers. That's how it works. Now what is slightly frustrating about this is, obviously, this is a game dedicated to the series. So you think they would replicate the qualifying format exactly, except it doesn't. What you end up getting is some kind of weird hybrid, where you get the 2 group stages, and then you just have a third final session between the top 8 to set the grid. You don't get any of the knockout stuff in this. Okay, so to get in the top 4, what do we need? God, look how tightly grouped that top 4 are. So we're about a second off being in the top 4, but we're also about a second off pole as well. As you can see, I've moved my box so you can actually see the splits in the bottom corner. This is going to literally be the last lap now. Shit. Okay. Oh my god! I knew I could do better. I've just been faffing about giving facts. Yes! So that means I think we'll advance to the finale. So in real life, we'd then have a quarter-final, semi-final, final. But now I think the next session... So there's qualifying 2. So I'll hit finish session. And those are your top 4. Champions Liverpool don't qualify. So next session, qualifying 3. Oh, it's actually just a straight shootout between me versus Roma for pole. as you've probably gathered, the AI isn't set like incredibly high. It's just kind of at a level that I'm finding competitive while I'm learning everything. So, you know, I know this isn't real life, not setting the world alight, but as long as it's the right level of immersion and fun for me, that is all that matters. Trying to rush it, trying to apply the power a bit too quickly there. This isn't going to be it. About 7/10 down on Roma. Yep, they've absolutely done us. So it's race time, and once again they tried in a little way to link it to football in the fact that there would be 2 races, both 44 minutes plus 1 lap, although it was referred to as 45 minutes. So you'd have essentially 2 halves of 45 minutes and a break in the middle. Although it wasn't like halves, because the 2 races were just 2 races. They were it wasn't like on aggregate you'd then have the score. It would just race 1, race 2, and you'd have the results from each, right? But obviously they were trying to make it football, so it was like, oh, it's half time between the 2 races. However, important note about the 44 minutes plus 1 lap races, there is a mandatory pit stop that has to happen between lap 8 and lap 20. And I know this from reading about the series. It's not been stated here at any point in the game. Will people stop? Will I have to stop? I'm going to do it in the spirit of things. I'm going to stop between lap 8 and lap 20. Oh yeah, also the second of the 2 races that I mentioned, that's reverse grid, which also isn't real life. That would be like, and the score at half time is 2-0, which means in the second half it will be 0-2. I don't know what the benefit is of doing this. I don't feel like there's much tyre warming going on. I am just going to, let's skip the formation lap. Please don't screw me over. Here we go. Oh wow, and the auto control has put me up the inside and into the lead, but I've gone wide. Roma takes us back. I feel like that's fair. Wow. We were ahead of Roma, I'm sure, when it gave us control. Right, we've got a lot of fuel on board. Let's not over push it. We're in second place. This is good. Let's spend some time just getting our eye in. You may have noted from my tone of voice that I'm slightly incredulous to this whole concept of mashing up football and racing. I get the high level logic of it. Lots of people like football, lots of people like racing. So why not combine the 2 and we'll get the audiences of both? Except the problem is, oh my lord, that wasn't a dive bomb, that was just bad braking. Ugh. Yeah, I think rather than being able to attract the audiences of both, you're just kind of restricting the audiences more than anything. Because sure, you might get some people who are into football that have never tried watching motorsports before. But if you don't like motorsports, I don't think it's going to change that much just because the car's painted in your team's colours. If you don't like it, you kind of don't like it. And all of the crossover elements of it are literally limited to... Oh no, shit! Oh good lord, that was an unsafe rejoin. Oh, we drop. Behind Sporting. Good lord, well, not for long. Back in 5th. But yeah, all of the football elements in this are purely limited to the liveries. Like, that's it. You can say that the qualifying format is like knockout football, and that it's the first half of racing, but it's the criticism is causing me like karmic damage. So the whole thing of it's the beautiful game at 300 kilometers an hour. It's not. It's just like you could literally call like one of the cars Andre Agassi and another one Pete Sampras and go, it's tennis at 300 miles an hour. It's not. There's no resemblance to tennis. It's still just motorsports. So I'm kind of not surprised the concept didn't last very long. Also, look at it from like a motorsports fan's perspective, you know? There are plenty of motorsports fans who don't like football. So they will see that this thing is started up and then see it's related to football and go, well actually, there's other motorsports on. A1GP was also happening at this time, which is just a more sane version of this concept of having like a World Cup of motorsports. It makes much more sense. So I don't know why they'd bother with this other than the whole thing for seeing, V12s, fast cars. Maybe see it for that alone. However, as for the game itself, I mean, ignoring the fact that it clearly has cut some corners and is just piggybacking off rfactor 1, it's not a bad thing to be piggybacking off of. So actually, it's still quite fun. You could argue, why was it not just an expansion for rfactor 1? Might have brought more exposure if it was a bit of extra content for rfactor 1 rather than just being its standalone thing. But overall, it's fun. It's good. It's basically an rfactor side quest. Right, I am going to stop monologuing, because if I want to recover all of the places I've lost, I need to focus on driving. In fact, we're almost up to the start of the mandatory pit window. That's it, okay. Oh shit, and the tyres are dirty! Right. I'm going to do this without having to talk and present now. I've said all I need to... Where's this force feedback gone? Are you taking the piss? It's back. Right, Jesus. That's annoying. As I was going to say, I'm going to attempt this race without now trying to consider my review of things and just think about actually racing. Watch it for that. Stop doing that. Stop braking too late for this one as well. Ooh, bit deep there, no. I think me and Roma are just pulling away at the moment. So actually, with the way laps get counted in this game, which is the same in rfactor 1, I'm pretty sure. This means we've completed 7 laps, I think, rather than we're on lap 7. So actually this is lap 8, which means from now the pit window is open. Considering how well this is going, I'm kind of feeling sad I restarted now. Should have just accepted being shit.
Oh, it's because I was talking about the game and the series and actually...
Who am I kidding? I spanned twice after I shut up. I've just noticed the logos look a bit better. Maybe I had to change session for it to take effect. Doesn't look quite as pixelated now, actually. Oh! Shit! I didn't mean to press the button! Oh, well, that's annoying. Okay, engine boost works in the race, and I've got 1 of 8. Ah, okay. I've got 8 push to pass uses. My thumb hit the button by accident. It's because I was trying to see how long was left on the timer and pressed the button for it while going through the hairpin, and then I accidentally hit push to pass instead of the button to change the heads-up display, and then immediately panicked. I actually don't think this is me. I think this is the fact that I'm driving for Spurs that this is happening. Oh, and there is a car going in. Okay, mandatory pit stops are go. And I am going to stop at around lap 15. Oh, good lord. Well, there we go. It's all come back around. Karma. Are you going to restart, are you? You know what you can't restart from? Being absolutely shit. There we go. Lord, again, a little bit of a slide. A couple more cars in the pits. At least we're making progress forward. You can see the lead of the race, although it won't ultimately be for the lead of the race. Seems like the most logical place to use that. Right, I'm considering one more lap and then coming in on the next one. Bit longer than expected, but I'd rather... Oh my god. I'd rather extend the first stint. You're going in the pits, aren't you? That's a little bit of a glitch, isn't it? Losing a bit of time doing that. Okay, mandatory pit stop done. Let's see how many places we're going to lose. I'm going to drop to 5th. Oh no, 5th is coming in. Oh, I think we're going to lose 6th. Damn, such a long pit exit. So less than 20 minutes to go. We've come out behind Corinthians. Oh, you little bastard. He wasn't going to leave me the space, and now we've ended up making a bit of contact. A little bit of damage. See if we can feel that. Let's not rush into it, come on. The AI are pretty slow out of this one. She wasn't too bad, to be fair, but I can be a little bit bolder into the final corner. Back into the top 5, so Olympiacos are 21 seconds. Surely they haven't stopped, right? We did lose a lot of time though. It's nearly the end of the pit window. We'll find out soon enough who we're racing. To be fair, it's Roma who were leading, who did inherit the lead off of us. Maybe we have recovered it all. As it stands, Basel, they've not stopped either. Incredible. So, we're about 1.3 seconds behind Roma. We've basically recovered through doing an overcut. Slash the AI difficulty's probably a bit low, and actually I've only found it challenging, not because of my pace, but because of my relative shortcomings with inconsistency and concentration, as demonstrated throughout my other attempts at sim racing, especially in the NASCAR season. But let's ignore that part and go, we've pulled the overcut, guys. We've pulled the overcut and now we're in it. Big brain strategy. Wide, but the lead is in. We're back up to first. Excellent. Right, we have 15 minutes to go. I've got 12 laps of fuel. I'm hoping that should be enough. As I cross the line now then, if it is going to do it properly, and it's going to be 44 minutes plus 1 lap, I cross the line and there are 3 to go, right? However, if it's just going to wave the checkered flag on 0, there's only 2 to go, and I have exactly 3 laps of fuel left. What's it going to say? Is this the final lap, or are we going to have the plus 1 lap as it's supposed to be? Oh, dead car, engine blown. That's cool. 1 lap to go. We do have plus 1 lap, and we now have, it's saying 1 lap to go. Bit of lift and coast to the end. Oh my god, we survive. Yes! We win. We win at Donington Park. Turn up the difficulty a little bit, for me anyway, for my personal preference. don't focus on spouting out facts and just focus on the racing, and a lot of fun could be had with this game. So for a bit of abandonware, I recommend checking out. It's fun. The game is being preserved currently in the Internet Archive, and you can download the game from there, although that copy is, as noted, the full game but locked in demo mode. Now, someone called Sim Racing Freak had made a patch which unlocked the full game. However, when I've come to record the footage for this video, it seems like that patch is no longer there, which is a shame. But we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed this little look back at Superleague Formula, the game. I'd love to hear from you. Did you play this game? Did you enjoy it? Did you watch Superleague Formula when it was on telly? Were you a big fan? Did you watch because you were just a football fan and it got you into motorsports? Is my kind of cynical logic wrong? I'd love to hear from you in the comments. But as ever, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you for another one very soon.